Argentina's missing submarine, what we know. Episode 2 inches. What could have happened? The vessel could have suffered some sort of catastrophic failure, Reed says. But, he adds, it could be something minor that has caused them to either be hung up somewhere or they are on the bottom. As the San Juan is a diesel submarine, not a nuclear-powered one, it has a limited life underwater, Reed says. Time is ticking for the 44 submariners on board. While submarines of this size and class can stay at sea for around a month, that doesn't mean they have 30 days underwater. It's dependent upon the last time they actually recharged their batteries, how long ago they refreshed the air, what's inside the submarine. We just don't know. If it has sunk but is still intact, they will have about a week to 10 days of oxygen, Peter Layton, a visiting fellow at the Griffith Asia Institute, Griffith University, in Australia says. How often would the crew usually be in contact? From a crew comfort point of view, the sub would very likely travel submerged around 50 meters, 165 feet, below the surface, Layton says, only coming near the surface to snort, replenish its oxygen, recharge the batteries by using the diesel engines, and send radio signals, around once every 24 hours. However, it could depend on whether it was a straightforward transit or if the sub was engaging in other operations en route, Ewan Graham, Director, International Security, of the Lowy Institute for International Policy in Sydney told CNN. Obviously the Falkland Islands are an intelligence target for Argentina. There is no reason to suggest that it was engaged in this, but still a possibility. If so, it would need to stay out of detection envelope. How hard is it to find a sunken sub? Finding a vessel that is designed not to be found is more difficult by an order of magnitude than a regular shipwreck, Graham says. In general terms, they are designed to be stealthy platforms, he says. They are difficult to detect underwater. By an order of magnitude. Finding large objects on the seabed is problematic, Layton says. They are usually found by listening passively, hope to hear the engines, or by active sonar. If you're sitting at bottom of ocean, you're probably not making a lot of noise, he says. You can't recharge oxygen, can't run too much equipment. Sonar is only really effective when you're looking for a sub between the seafloor and the surface, but this one is on the ocean floor. What you need is something that maps the seafloor, similar to the devices used in the MH370 search, he says. What sort of shape is the sub in? The San Juan is an old diesel submarine, built in the mid-1980s, but was refitted with new engines and batteries around 5 years ago, Graham says. The hull dates back to '85, he says. But it shouldn't lose electric power catastrophically. Because of the expansion and contraction of the hull as it ascends and descends deep below the ocean surface, they are designed to have a shelf life of usually around 30 years. That shelf life has expired, Layden says. Assuming the hull is still intact, it can withstand ocean depths up to around 500–600 meters. If it's resting on Argentina's continental shelf, it is likely in waters shallower than this, but if it sank in the depths of the Atlantic Ocean, it likely sank below its crush depth, the depth at which the hull buckles under pressure. Is anything hampering search efforts? Southern Argentina's Patagonia coast is notorious for strong storms. Currently, a powerful low-pressure system is causing wind gusts in excess of 70 kph, around 45 miles per hour, and churning up the South Atlantic Ocean with swells equivalent to a two-story building. This weather will hamper the search efforts for at least the next 48 hours, CNN meteorologist Derek Van Dam said. Given the submarine's range, the search area could comprise thousands of square kilometers, says Layden. If satellite signals are from sub, this whittles things down, gives search and rescue a great chance. Can't they send another submarine to find it? What is needed is what is in the area, above all, boats with multi-beam sonar, to be able to do the search properly, Argentine Naval Captain Hector Alonso said. Sending a submarine to the area to perform some type of search wouldn't add anything because they don't have the technology or the elements to be able to do an underwater search. However, at least one specialist rescue sub will be required if the San Juan is found with the crew still alive. Given that it was constructed in Germany, the design is NATO compatible, and the US is sending a rescue submersible to the area to undertake a rescue. Assuming it's found, how will the crew members be rescued? Even if it can be located, it will take more time to get a rescue vessel there, the transit time for which could add another couple of days, Graham says, which is problematic when oxygen supplies are diminishing, especially when surface conditions are so rough. It's difficult to operate in 8-meter, 26 feet, waves, he says. Adding to the difficulties of a rescue, we currently don't know what depth it is located, and how precarious the state of the hull could be. The condition of the sub, assuming it's resting on the continental shelf, is also of key concern. The sunk submarine needs to be sitting upright, or nearly so, on the sea floor so the rescue hatches can be easily reached and docked with, Layden says. The sea floor, though, is not flat. If the submarine is lying at an acute angle, docking could be hard.